COSATU does not, of course, always agree with what you say in the Daily Maverick, but all we know is that we will always defend your right to say anything you want to say. Its significance to the future of South Africa is the ANC conference in Mangaung now only 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. I wish. I wish it was gone. The ANC can learn from COSATU, and I suggest that if you were to wake up any South African tonight and ask them what concerns them or what concerns them the most, I have no doubt that the overwhelming majority of them will say the far most important priority in their mind is the crisis of unemployment. But they will also mention corruption, which have become epidemic. They will also talk about the morality crisis in the society. They will also talk about the leadership question. They will, however, agree that most South Africans, and they will say, believe that these challenges can be addressed. The undisputable truth is that the working class, whilst they celebrate the political medals hanging on their necks, but there is also a reality that everybody recognizes, that the economic jewelry still resides elsewhere. The difference between others and ourselves is that we have become used to this crisis. How I wish that the ANC's delegates to this 53rd National Conference, now dubbed Mangaung, will be preoccupied by answering a central question: what is to be done? Comrade Paul, you were assuring us that that's what we are talking about. And I hope that that's what the media will be talking about, because what we see, the images of the conferences of the ANC is people singing not about these things, but about leadership. So others are changing, others are holding the victory signs of the second term. And that's all we see, not anything that relates to our priorities, particularly as the working class. Last Saturday, I was one of those privileged to hear a man who has an answer to some of these questions. The former president of Brazil, Comrade Lula da Silva. He inspired us not just with a vision for the future, but evidence of practical steps taken by the government he had led to resolve the same challenges that South Africa is facing today. So, we hope that the ANC conference and then the government will follow the Lula road and lead us forward. The ANC must move away from being a new organization called the Absolutely No Consequences, back to what it is, the African National Congress, the real Congress of the people. No consequences, guaranteed. Absolutely no consequences. Whether it's about flights, no consequences. Textbook, no consequences. Massive scales of corruption printed in the media all over every Sunday, every day, absolutely no consequences. Unless we can change from that, Paul, our country is going to be eaten by the dogs. And we will continue to deteriorate, not just to be a laughing stock, but most importantly, we will join the other African states as the basket case and yet another example of a failed revolution.
Over the past 3 years, and particularly recently, you're subliminally giving the same message that Lindiwe has in her motivation for the vote of no confidence. And yet you're backing the incumbents. What happened?
I have no comment on the question. It's a COSATU position, that's what Paul says. But let me say, the Secretary General of the ANC called COSATU to order this week that COSATU mustn't and has no right to interfere with internal debates of leadership in the ANC. And I think that order was correct. COSATU shouldn't be deciding on behalf of the ANC who it should elect as its leadership. So the order is sustained.